Okay, so let's just continue. We want to talk about feudalism in the church. But feudalism started by the gap Charles the Great created. It won so many spaces, kingdom, empires, territories, and those he handed over power to couldn't maintain it. He actually divided the kingdom among his sons, and the same thing that plagued the previous kingdom, the Frank kingdom before him, was something that plagued his own kingdom as well. Power was lost from the middle. Power was now in the hand of individuals, and that resulted in what is called feudalism. Feudalism. Charles died, I think, of illness, yes, of illness. And I want to remember the place, the territory Pepin gave to the Pope or to the church is called donation of Pepin. So you can search it online. So it's a large, vast of land. So what's feudalism? Feudalism. When when the kingdom was divided into the hands of different people and there was no central authority, the central authority was weakened. There were infightings too. The locals, the individual, the private people, they were exposed to dangers. Dangers especially from those they call the Vikings, Vikings. These were like travelers. They just go through a place, invade the place, destroy the land, carry properties, and then go move to another place, move to another place. They were like raiders. So they were raiding territories, collecting people's land, not especially people's land, but even people's properties, killing people, collecting what they have. So people need some kind of security, military security that will watch over them, that will keep them safe. So some powerful officials who had like private army began to serve as a kind of protector for people. Now, if you now want them to protect you, you will give them your land. It will not be as if they rented the land over to you, like Joseph did for people in Egypt. And you must now in turn serve them as a military officer. Normally, they fight battle 40 days in the year. Normally, the lords or the knights, or you call them lords, local lords, they will go and fight either to protect territory or if there's a threat or to go and resolve personal vendettas. Just for any reason, they will shall go and fight. It is usually after Easter. And then if you have accepted a person as your lord, you become a vassal. They become your lord. They own your land. They give you that land to work upon. Meanwhile, you don't have submitted the land to them in the first place. So you go with them to fight wars, to win those wars. And if you die, fine, it is your duty. You will not be paid. They can also call you up at any moment for any service. That was the system then. So people began to submit their lands to people to protect. And because churches were also built in on lands and they were also at a risk, even abbots, even where the monk stays, monasteries was also exposed. They will also give their whole land to people to protect. And then they these lords who were who were militant now began to control the church. Because the church has a land, has a property, submitted it to them. They now kind of have a say in the leadership of the church, in the who becomes who in the church. And that was a problem. The system lasted for like 600 years, so it was really a big thing that the church had to have no choice but to be part of it. Even the Pope started collecting Lord vassal relationship. Started even the Pope involved in Lord vassal relationship. Yes, he allowed people to stay because the Pope had lands already anyway. So people stayed there and they are subjected to the Pope directly. But even that is even on the favor side of the church in a way. On the other side, many of these people that submitted their land, pastors, bishops, priests that submitted their land, now have two lords. The Lord that owns the land and the Lord who is also their Pope, who is also the Pope. So that was a problem for the church. Secular power and the Pope or the papal authority was clashing. In some places, like in Italy, or the city of Rome, the church had a lot of spaces on its own already. In places like Germany, even the kings that came on board in Germany began to do vassal-lord relationship, and they really owned the church. They really put the church under. And this was why some group of people like a group of reformers grew up from a monastery and said this thing must not continue. The church must be exempted from this Lord vassal issue, vassal, Vassal. We must put an end to it. And the church tried to pass some legislations, to make some decrees, to make some laws, but it wasn't that effective until these guys came on board. They began to cause like an uprising. In fact, one of the things that these guys were discussing was that Pope must be, anybody that would be a priest must be celibate, that is, must not have a child at all. So they had some other ideas together with the fact that they want to liberate the church from the secular lords. And eventually one of, or let me say even the ringleader of the person that started that reformation or that revolution became a pope. So him becoming a pope was now an opportunity for him to fully pass what he had in mind or what he stood for, to see it happen. So when a particular king, I'm going to get the name of the king, when King Otto the Great, King Otto the Great, yes, became a king, there was a way they adjusted the feudal law to favor the church a bit. It was not so much so, but when this man became the pope, he named himself Pope Gregory the Seventh. The king at that time was King Henry the Fourth, who was the king of the Germans. So, and it was really in Germany that this thing was really a big issue, and the German king happened to be also the most dominant king in the Western Roman territory as well. So this king and the Pope clashed. The Pope insisted that law is not going to stand again. They're going to exempt the church. The king made sure he imposed a person he liked to be Bishop of Milan, which the Pope was against, and then the Pope excommunicated him from the church. Said he's no longer a member of the church. So what did this man? This man also called the German Synod, all the bishops in Germany, and told them to also excommunicate the Pope. But people in Germany, they pressurized the king and told him to go and cooperate with the Pope. So he went to the Pope, did what they call penitence. I've explained that. He stood outside begging for forgiveness from God. He stood outside on the snow barefooted for 3 days, according to some history, pleading for mercy until the Pope eventually forgave him, because those days you confess your sin, the Pope will forgive you, or the Reverend Father will now forgive you, or claim that you have been forgiven, or ask you to do some other charity works for you to be forgiven. So the Pope had to intervene, and then they settled the issue. They now made a decision. Number one, the Pope had cardinal of bishops. Those are the ones that will now elect the Pope. No secular body will be involved again. The king will not be involved. The political figures will not be involved. The Lord will not be involved. Secondly, for the election of bishops in local places, they can do it. The church will do it on their own, but there will be a representation from the government. That was how they were able to lay the issue to rest. Now, a vassal is the subject. The Lord is the person in charge. So the Lord will not become like the landowner or like the landlord. So when the vassal is making a pledge to the Lord, there's a way he's going to hold his hand like this. The vassal stretch it towards the Lord or something, and that was how putting ends together become a symbol of prayer today. It is from the culture of vassal-lord relationship. And the process of putting a church under a lord is called lay investure. Lay investure, Lainvesture. That was a significant part of the church history that shaped the relationship between the church and the secular power. Let me go through my notes and see if there is anything I need to mention that I omitted. starting from Charles and these feudal lords. Okay, I don't see anything yet. The Pope Gregory the Seventh became Pope in 1073. His name was Inderbrand, but whenever they become a Pope or a king, they will pick any name of their choice. So Inderbrand, he now picked the name Gregory the Seventh. Remember we talked about Gregory the Great, who was Gregory the First the other time. Um, so let me see about Charles. I told you about the donation of Pepin. That donation was confirmed again by Charles, and there's not much to that. I think I covered the most areas. Thank you. So I'll see you in the next class. This is quite a brief one as just a continuation of the other one. Thank you.